afternoon, everyone. Are we ready to get down to business? My name is Mike Andrulis. I'm the Vice President of Lithuanian Affairs for the Baltic-American Freedom League. I'd like to introduce our three distinguished panelists. First, to my left, Christine Morgan, who's the Estonian Honorary Consul to San Francisco. Then we have, bring it on. Then we have Amalia Ghukasyan, Latvian American Chamber of Commerce here in Los Angeles. And last but not least, Sandra Brikaite, the Consul General of Lithuania here in Los Angeles. So first, let me tell you a little bit about Christine. She is the Honorary Consul for Estonia in Northern California and an intellectual property litigation partner at the law firm Reed Smith LLP. That means she's really smart. She's a trial lawyer who represents companies and other intellectual property litigation in venues around the country. Christine is also of Estonian heritage and spent many of her formative middle school and high school years living with her grandmother, Greta, who left Estonia as an orphan teenager at 19 and made her way to New York to start a new life. Next, Amalia serves as the Los Angeles director of the Latvian American Chamber of Commerce, LACC, where she collaborates with government and private sector leaders to strengthen Latvia's commercial presence in the US and promote American investment in Latvia. She is also the CEO of Rosewalk Global, a strategic advisory firm specializing in US market entry and business expansion. With extensive experience in trade development, business expansion, and international partnerships, Amalia is dedicated to strengthening Latvia's position within the US market and expanding Baltic-American economic cooperation. So Amalia, you must be doing your job really well because business is strong. In her role at LACC, she works closely with the Honorary Consul of the Republic of Latvia in Southern California, Dr. Joris Bunkus, who could not be with us today, to advance dynamic economic ties between Latvia and the United States. Finally, Sandra Brikaite. She's been with us here in Los Angeles since 2024 as our Consul General of Lithuania. Prior, she was Deputy Director of External Economic Affairs and Economic Security Police Department. And prior to that, she was head of the Export and Investments Promotion Division for the External Economic Affairs and Economic Security Police Department. She knows her business. She has studied at the University of Turku in the Faculty of Humanities in Finland with a Master of Arts in History with studying cultural history. She also did her undergraduate degrees there as well as at the University of Klaipėda. But the true secret is Sandra is a linguist. Her native tongue is Lithuanian, but she knows English, French, Finnish, German, and Russian. But in Sandra's free time, while now she says she has very little, she likes to knit and hopes to visit as many U.S. national parks as possible. Please welcome our three panelists. So, Christine, if you could start off and tell us a little bit about what you do, how you do it, and how it impacts businesses who are looking to do business in Estonia, as well as Estonian businesses here in the US.
Thank you, and pleasure to be here with you all. I've enjoyed the conference thus far, so thank you for the warm welcome. I became Honorary Consul for Estonia in Northern California just this past January, and Jaak Treman, the Honorary Consul for Estonia here in LA, came up graciously to help me get inducted. But so far, what I understand about the role is there are very few official duties that I have. Those duties include handing out passports and ID cards to local Estonians. The rest of it is up to me. And the government does want to engage or have me engage in business diplomacy between the Bay Area and Estonia. As you may know, Estonia's got 10 unicorn companies. That means companies valued at over $1 billion. It's got a purely digital government. You can get married and divorced with a click of a button. You can pay your taxes in 3 minutes online, and all government services are online only. No paper checks, no DMV visit to fill out paperwork. It's quite a digital nation. So my, I guess, mandate for myself is, number one, raising awareness about Estonia. You would be surprised how many, or maybe you wouldn't be surprised, but many Californians do not know where Estonia is or what it's known for, or more importantly, its history. I've done a lot of study on World War II and even back to the 12th century, just understanding the centuries of occupation that Estonia has faced and trying to, I guess, educate whoever I come in contact with as to why it's important for us to support Estonia and the Baltic countries right now, and Ukraine, most importantly. There isn't an understanding of history at least in the people I'm encountering in the Bay Area. In fact, I get my news about Estonia from a YouTuber, and I don't find a lot of it in our newspapers or even New York Times or other Economist. You know, there's just smatterings of articles, so you have to dig a little bit deeper to find what's going on with the Baltic countries, I feel. So raising awareness, that's number one. Business diplomacy, that's number two. The more businesses that are investing in Estonian businesses, and there are quite a few venture capital funds that are investing in Estonian startups, then they have skin in the game in Estonia. They want those businesses to succeed. They don't want geopolitical insecurity, and this helps foster the security of the Baltic states, I feel. Those are the two things I'm trying to do. And I will say that this is a personal mission, and I appreciated Jonas's comment about personal stories. My grandmother, Greta, grew up in Estonia on the West Coast. She was an Estonian Swede, and we date back there to before records were kept. But she unfortunately was orphaned at 3 years old. Her father, trying to save beachgoers on the west coast of Estonia from a leftover World War I Russian water mine that had become unmoored, attempted to tie a rope around that mine and pull it away from the beach, and unfortunately perished in the process. Her mother, Greta's mother, died of the Spanish flu. And so Greta found herself and with her brother as orphans. They were split up, grew up in different, somewhat related families' households. And then in a remarkable stroke of luck, she won a visa to emigrate to the United States at 19. She got on a ship alone at 19, this orphan teenager, and made her way to New York. There was a man who was taking in Estonian Swedes. This was 1937, so her timing was very good because, as you know, in 1940, the Soviets came and annexed Estonia. The Nazis followed the next year, and then the Soviets came and stayed until 1991. She married an Estonian Swede in Brooklyn, New York, had my mom, then came to California and had my aunt, and she thrived and became a polyglot, much like our Consul General here. Spoke many languages, learned to paint in her 60s, learned Spanish in her 60s, and I was a child of divorce in the 70s, and I grew up with Greta. My dad was in the next town over, my mom was out of state. And I have to say, I learned a lot from her example. What I learned most is her resilience. This orphan thriving here in California, and watching that example, I think, built me up to be a resilient person. And I dare say that I think Estonians, they have resiliency built into their DNA, and probably the Latvians and Lithuanians would agree with me about that. So to wrap up, I am, I'm learning in this role, but I'm going to do everything I can to create connections between the two countries so that people care about Estonia and the Baltics. And I'm going to do everything I can in whatever way I can to help preserve the freedom and prosperity of Estonia. Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. Amalia, how about you? Tell us a little bit about yourself, your role, and your objectives in your job.
This is on, right? Good afternoon, and thank you to our hosts and fellow panelists. It's a pleasure for me to represent Latvia here today and to contribute to a conversation that is not only timely, but I think it's also deeply strategic. But I want to start with a story today. Back in 2022, the LACC, which is the Latvian American Chamber of Commerce, was preparing for the flagship event of the organization, together with the Latvian Investment and Development Agency and the Honorary Consulate of Latvia in California. Because that year the conference was happening in Los Angeles, we had a bold idea. What if we thought we go to the biggest studios in Hollywood and bring them to our conference room and position Latvia as a serious partner in content creation? And I'll be honest, it wasn't easy. Let's just say at that moment, Latvia was not quite trending in Hollywood. But then this year, Flow, a stunning animation from Latvia, won an Oscar. It was Latvia's first Academy Award. And this moment changed dramatically the perception of what Latvia can deliver, not just in film, but in general, in innovation, in entrepreneurship, and in global partnership. Then the momentum continued. In the same year, the California Senate adopted a resolution commemorating the 100th anniversary of diplomatic relationship between the Republic of Latvia and the United States. That resolution was sponsored by Senator Josh Newman, and it affirmed Latvia as California's gateway to Northern Europe, and affirmed California as Latvia's innovation and commercial partner in the United States. In 2024, high-level California delegation visited Latvia. It was led by State Treasurer Fiona Ma, and this was an initiative spearheaded by Dr. Juris Bunkis, the Honorary Consul of Latvia, who unfortunately is not here today and who I have the honor to represent right now. After visiting Latvia, Treasurer Ma described Latvia amply, saying, "Latvia is a small but mighty country of dreamers and doers like California." And we see ourselves like that. Then only a couple of months later, and I'm giving chronological developments, only a couple of months later, President Edgars Rinkēvičs of Latvia visited California, together with 70 businesses from Latvia, ranging from sectors like AI, IT, green tech, and green energy, biotech and green energy. At meetings with the California Investment Fund and institutions like Berkeley Lab, both sides confirmed continued commitment to cooperation and affirmed Latvia as a serious and capable innovation partner on global stage, which indeed we believe Latvia is. Latvia has chosen openness to reform, openness to growth, openness to trade. Since regaining independence, Latvia's GDP per capita has grown twice as fast as the EU average. Our startup ecosystem has grown significantly, with over 500 startups and the first Latvian unicorn, Printful, which has operations both in California and in Latvia. Now, as a business consultant, I see the Baltics as innovation incubators. I advise companies that launch new in California, and I get to see amazing products from the Baltics, from anti-inflammatory powdered wine from Latvia to freeze-dried ice cream that doesn't melt in Lithuania, and superfoods, Baltic berries, smoothies from Estonia. I think the Balts are combining tradition with tomorrow's science. They have the best of the products. My recommendation to businesses from the Baltic countries is do not just step a toe, plant a flag. You've got it. Invest decisively, embrace the scales in America, and grow. Let me see if I'm forgetting something. That part I really liked. Maybe I should bring a couple of examples later about Latvian businesses, since they're not going to be able to join online. But just to wrap it up, I want to say that ultimately, Latvia, like that of the rest of the Baltic region, is not about volume. It's about velocity, I believe. We move fast and we move deeply. And we do this with purpose, reliability, and we partner with forward-looking values with our global partners. Thank you.
Thank you, Amalia. Sandra, please tell us a little bit about what you hope to accomplish here in Los Angeles and how the Lithuanian companies are both leading here in the US and possibly in Lithuania.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for those who stayed in the last panel. I know that it's very hard to keep up with this discussion, but thank you so much. It's great to be here today and to speak about something that is very important for me personally, about strengthening the business ties between the United States and Lithuania, between the United States and the Baltic countries. My name is Sandra, and I represent Lithuania, the country that is proud, open, and forward-looking, and committed strongly to working closely with the United States. I'm a career diplomat in the Lithuanian Foreign Ministry, and before coming to LA, I spent 6 years at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, helping our Lithuanian businesses to partner with the potential partners globally. So I continue to do this here in Los Angeles. Our consulate covers 8 states in the Western Coast, including those poor parts like Hawaii and Alaska. It's quite far away. I haven't been there yet, but I'm planning to go and to find some business opportunities for our companies. But I wanted to stress as well that I'm not alone here to help our businesses. We have a great team in the United States. We have the embassy. We have 3 consulates general in New York, Chicago, and Los Angeles. We also have more than 20 honorary consulates around the United States. And together with the Lithuanian professionals living in the United States and business support agencies in Lithuania, we form a network called Team Lithuania, or Team LT as we used to say, which coordinates very closely. We network a lot with the businesses on the both sides of Atlantic. We share our experiences, we share our contacts, and we do a lot of projects together. And today I would like to mention our joint project, North American Lithuanian Business Forum, which is organized since 6 or 7 years already. It happens every year in a different city of the United States. And it's attended by hundreds of companies from the United States, Lithuania, and Canada. So it's the biggest business-oriented event forum in the North America, which is connected to Lithuania. So this year, the 6th forum will be held in Boston on 6th to 11th, not 6th, on 9th to 11th of June at the MIT Media Lab. So I really encourage you to take a look at this forum and to consider attending, because this is a very good opportunity to meet Lithuanian companies coming to the United States, to network with them and to network as well with the fellow American companies, and to find maybe new partners for your future business.
Thank you, Sandra. So, Christine, having grown up in California, but also having Estonian roots and knowing many Estonian businesses, are there cultural differences that Estonian companies should be aware of when striving to establish a business presence or developing business in California or the US?
Yes. You know, in California, especially, we grow up watching a lot of entertainment. We want to be entertained. You know, even I'm a trial lawyer. The jury wants to be entertained. We're used to this high level of entertainment, kind of dynamic public speaking styles. We're used to you keeping our attention or the speaker keeping our attention. We have short attention spans. So what I would say, just in my recent experience helping companies that are coming from Estonia and trying to get a foothold here, is to present as if you were presenting to a jury, present as if you were in a TV show. I don't know. There needs to be, at least in my view, perhaps some realization that the audience you're speaking to here in California in the Bay Area needs to have a dynamic speaking style in front of them. The same goes for written materials. I've provided some comment on written materials about companies. I'm not saying be entertaining in your written materials. Obviously, you have to have substance, but here's another distinction, but I think it's common to all humans. You have to speak to your audience as if what's in it for them. You know what I mean? Like you can present all the beautiful things about your business and how it's growing and how customers like the product, for example, but when you're talking to a business audience in the States, or at least in California, they want to hear what's in it for them. How can you make their lives easier? How can you make them more money? And so those are the two things I think I've seen that could use some tweaking. And I don't know if that's just, you know, being Northern European and maybe it's colder and you're quieter, or maybe years of Soviet occupation. I don't know, but those are the things that I think are required here to be able to stand out from other businesses.
Thank you, Christine. And as someone who was born in New Jersey and came to California, I can definitely agree with that. Amalia, could you please tell me about Latvian-American Chamber of Commerce and in what ways it is advancing trade and commercial partnerships between Latvia and the United States?
Yes. So the Latvian-American Chamber of Commerce was established by Latvian diaspora members. It works closely with government organizations from Latvia, with the Latvian Investment and Development Agency, LIA, but also with all the honorary consuls in the United States and consulates. One of the key ways is acting as on-the-ground support team for Latvian businesses who come to the United States, providing first-hand consultations and advice on legislation, on regulatory and legislative technicalities of doing business in the United States. We host about 50 events annually, online or physical. And one of our biggest events that happens every year is Spotlight Latvia. As I mentioned, one example, the one in Los Angeles this year, Spotlight Latvia is happening in Washington, D.C. with a topic that is very relevant. It's going to be about American and Latvian security with a delegation, high-level delegation from Latvia and the United States counterparts, businesses from the defense and security sector.
Thank you, Amalia. And Sandra, why should U.S. businesses pay attention to Lithuania? And what business opportunities could we identify that would be mutually beneficial?
First of all, when I speak with American businesses, I speak not only about Lithuania, but about the Baltic Sea region, because Lithuania's economy is not so big. The market is not so big. And when we present, we can attract more attention. On the other hand, when the American companies do business with the Baltics, they can have an access to even bigger market, to the market of the European Union, with 450 million customers. So this is very, very useful for the American companies. Also, the Baltics, we are open economies. We are strong democracies and trusted allies for the United States. I think that you won't find another region in the European Union which would be so strongly committed to working with the United States. We are agile, we are innovative, and we are quick to adapt. So those qualities help us to lead in the fast-changing world. Talking about Lithuania, we see a couple of areas for our economic cooperation. First of all, we're interested in doing business in every innovative sector, be it ICT, be it biotech, fintech, advanced technologies, advanced manufacturing. Any innovative sector is very, very, very interesting for us. So in biotech, for example, we are great in clinical trials. We can partner in research and production. In cybersecurity and ICT, we have top talents in Lithuania as well, in the other Baltic countries. We have a strong digital setup as well. So the American companies can consider growing their teams in Lithuania, open service hubs or do other business. I have also to mention that in Lithuania, in the of Lithuania, a location ready for AI data center, and now we're talking to many American top tech companies about establishing a data center, AI, artificial intelligence data center in Lithuania. Of course, defense and security, which is it's the sector which is growing very quickly now, and not only because of the war, but also because this sector generates a lot of innovations. So we are very, very interested to work together with the American companies in this sector as well. Fintech. Lithuania is the leader in fintech in the European Union, with the biggest number of fintech licensed companies. So American companies which want to open a fintech branch in the European Union, they could find a solid ground in Lithuania. So with the government that supports businesses, with the government that supports innovation, and is very, very approachable by the foreign investors. It was mentioned already today that we have a green corridor system with financial incentives and we are opening doors for the foreign investors. So I think that Lithuania, as well the other Baltic countries, is the solid partner in the European Union now, and I don't know how many business representatives are here today, but I think that you can share this information to your to your friends, family members who wants to do business with Europe.
Thank you, Sandra. It's truly amazing what our little but mighty Baltic countries are accomplishing. So, Sandra, thank you for talking about AI. I believe, Conrad, do we have Dr. Tadas Jucikas, who's the founder of Genus AI, available? And I apologize that Dr. Elizabeth Keher, Chief Growth Officer at Nortel, was not able to join us. She developed a conflict as her day was extremely busy the past few days. So she apologized for not being here. Tadas, labas, how are you?
Labas, how are you? Can you hear me well?
Welcome to Los Angeles.
Can you hear me well?
Can hear you.
Perfect.
Welcome to Los Angeles.
Can you hear me well?
So can hear you. Tadas Jucikas, the
Perfect.
founder
Welcome
of
to
Los
the-
Angeles,
Can you hear me
CEO
well?
of Genus AI, has a PhD in computational neurosciences from the University of Cambridge. And his research findings are published in the world's top scientific journals of Nature and PNAS, which is the flagship peer-reviewed journal of the National Academy of Science, which is quite impressive. He has spent the last 8 years in level human behavior and applying generative AI capabilities to leading direct-to-consumer and e-commerce companies in the world. Welcome, Tadas. Please take a few minutes and tell us a little bit about you, your company, and what you do.
Thank you, Michael. And hi, everyone. I'm excited to be on this discussion. Thank you for inviting me, such a distinguished panel as well. I am currently at a Dallas airport, so I do apologize in advance for any connectivity issues that they have here at the conference center at one of the lounges. So very thrilled to be here. In fact, I am traveling from Lithuania back to the US. I have one more stop to go to Nashville, Tennessee, where we've moved our headquarters a few years ago from California, the Bay Area. It's quite a just thrilling experience to have the opportunity to have a business that kind of straddles both sides of the ocean with half of our team here in the United States, and then the other half engineering, technology, applied AI back in Lithuania. So happy to share any kind of thoughts, comments, and experiences in creating a company, launching it, building it in such a way. Overall, I believe that we are benefiting from best of both worlds. We have very talented and hardworking and highly technologically skilled workforce in the Baltics. And here in the United States, we have sort of the speed, the market, and the funding that is available. At Genus AI, the company that I started, we are still considered an early stage company, seed stage company, even though we've raised over $11 million to date of venture capital, some of it from Europe, some of it from the US, leading companies, institutional investors backed us. And our area of focus is on artificial intelligence and its applications in the e-commerce space. So today, Genus AI is used by e-commerce, direct-to-consumer companies that are focusing their growth online by its digital channels, such as Facebook, Instagram, Google, Pinterest, X, TikTok, etc. We're live on all these channels, and we help brands to generate images, to generate representation of their products in various formats, and also use AI to help understand how best to engage customers to achieve maximum efficiency for brand KPIs like cost per acquisition, average order value, return on ad spend. So today we generate over 40 million product catalog images for brands that are well known here in the US and North America in general. And in 2024, something that our technology has made resulted in over $250 million in revenue on these digital channels alone for brands using us. So we're still early. We're doing a lot of interesting things technologically. However, it's exciting to already see the impact of what AI can do in this space and have the opportunity to build that in Lithuania and realize its value here in North America. Perhaps a few words about myself. I was born in Lithuania. I left Lithuania when I was 18 in 2003. I was very fortunate to have the opportunity to study abroad, worked very hard to try to make that happen. At the time, Lithuania was not part of the EU or NATO and so on, so it's kind of hard to figure out how best to do this, but nonetheless, I was successful, and I joined a program on bioinformatics and computational biology at the International University Bremen in Germany. And I was then very fortunate to continue my studies at the University of Cambridge in the UK, where I joined the Department of Applied Mathematics and Theoretical Physics for an area to study computational neuroscience, computational biology. I remember arriving to the department with Stephen Hawking still there, and for a kid from a farm in Lithuania, that was very formative and very humbling and super exciting. So I decided to stay for a PhD in computational neuroscience and subsequently started Genus AI. I live in the United States now and really recommend for founders in the Baltic states to consider US as really kind of a first port of growth rather than second or third. Really try to build products for the US and North American market right away. And in general, do everything from building teams, building revenue, to overall, aligning with the US and North America as much as possible, as much as one can. I believe there's a lot of opportunity for that kind of extreme alignment, and should we all work towards that, only good things can happen.
So thank you, Tadas. Clearly, you've had a great level of success already. And what have you learned that would be helpful to other brilliant scientists and aspiring business innovators and entrepreneurs that would be helpful to these other individuals to get started and to break through like you have?
The fascinating thing about working and building teams, where part of the team is in Lithuania, Latvia, or even Estonia, and then the other part of the team is in the United States. It's just the extreme kind of alignment in terms of values. I think that, me personally remembering Lithuania, before it regained its independence, just living through that period, I think really aligned us with values that the United States has. So actually, I think out of all European nations, I think I can speak for Lithuania since I'm from there, we're more American than anyone else in Europe, I would say. Just purely because we believe in our own agency, we believe in freedom in principle, and we sort of have a little bit more courage to go out there and try to create things and do things for ourselves. So for me, that was very formative because, 1991, getting out of the Soviet Union and becoming independent Lithuania once again almost kind of proves that anything is possible. People didn't think that's going to be easily accomplished, and living through that, I think, created that sort of momentum and belief in oneself. So I think those types of values are very important when you're building a team, when you're trying to create some value. And it turns out that teams in Lithuania are very talented technically, and then teams in the United States are very talented in selling, explaining, communicating, sometimes even complicated concepts. So for example, our team is split that way. We have our go-to-market customers facing team based here in the United States, and then product applied AI technology team in Lithuania. And I think that that's an interesting way to consider this. Sometimes we can be very critical of ourselves coming from the Baltic region, where it's nice to learn from colleagues here in the US that it's important to sort of add that flair of entertainment, as Christine was saying, and really have strong conviction, and one can accelerate and achieve better velocity that way. So there's nice sort of bilateral learning that can be accomplished by considering to have teams in the United States as well. In terms of Lithuanian companies actually building factories or building facilities in the United States, I would also actually encourage that. It's actually something that should be considered, especially in the current political climate. So not only consider sales, customer success, and these sort of soft roles, but also for sure consider innovative roles. Genus AI, we're part of the StartX, which is an accelerator affiliated with Stanford. And it's amazing just to see the kind of technological expertise that permeates the Bay Area. So there's a lot to be learned both ways. And I think that the best thing to do, if any company has bigger ambitions, is to try to tap into all of that.
Thank you, Tadas. Conrad, in our remaining minutes, do we have any questions from the floor? Only questions. I'm feeling love for both countries. Actually, for all three, it was just, sorry about that. So Amalia, if you had to give one piece of advice to Latvian businesses planning to launch in California, what would it be?
I was not expecting another question, but I guess my thought will continue Kristen's advice about being more bold in presenting ourselves here. My presentation might not have sounded humble today, and this might be also because I'm originally Armenian, and it was not about singing my own praises. So I was in an easier position because I think we all in the Baltics share the same humble way of not shouting out loud about our praises. But as I said in my presentation, we have wonderful products, great businesses, and we can be a category leader in the United States. So just be more decisive in coming and being here and doing business here on the American soil. The rest will come. Thank you.
Thank you. So Christine, some love for, please.
If I may add, so there is always two advices that I give to our businesses. First of all, be prepared. You have to have a solid product or service. You have to have the whole documentation in good English. You have to have you have to hire a salesperson who knows the United States, who knows how to speak to Americans, who knows how Americans function. If you don't know, you call us. Because the foundation is to be prepared. And then don't act alone is always my second advice. Call us. We have, as I said, Team Lithuania, which is ready to help you. And both the American companies and Lithuanian companies can use our services, which are free of charge. So call us. We will help you. We will advise. We will connect you with the right people. We will connect with the universities if you need some education and so on. And then we will help you to find partners, or we will connect with the consultancy companies and so on. So we will find a way to help you. Don't be alone.
Thank you, Sandra. So I'm a lazy garagiste winemaker in my garage. Is there any help for me?
Please, he can call us, and then we will talk about his product or services, and we'll try a way to help him. Maybe another Lithuanian needs his services,
Thank you. So how about we end with some love for Estonia? Christine, any closing thoughts or advice for anyone planning to visit California and develop business relationships here?
I think I said my piece on that, but I do think there is wonderful support in the governments of the Baltics for businesses. I heard about a Latvian business delegation of 70 businesses, was that right, with the president coming? And I know I facilitated a delegation from Estonia in January where we visited NVIDIA, Planet, I can't remember all the places we went, but there's a lot of support for these businesses from the governments themselves, and their secret little marketing funds in Estonia, at least. I don't know about these about Latvia and Lithuania. So seems like there's more resources for businesses over there to come here and try to make a entryway into the U.S. market. The other thing I will say is you can't just dip your toe in once. I think you were saying something about that, but you can't just come once and then all of a sudden magically expect that your business is going to thrive here. Like you need a presence, whether it's Silicon Valley, San Francisco, which is now the global epicenter of AI. You got to be there in the mix, gaining credibility, gaining face time. It's expensive. It's expensive to do that. But if you're serious about making it here, I think being on the ground is, I guess, my number one bit of advice.
Well, thank you all for participating in the business, trade, and investment panel for the Baltics. How about a round of applause for Christine, Amalia, Sandra, and our man in the sky with AI, Tadas. Thank you all.